Let's see. Unless they come up, you know, of course there is that, yeah. So with this showing up beside this Seven of Swords and this purple like tying into it, I'm kind of getting the feeling like, you know, you're picking up on somebody not being upfront with you, right? And it's got you worried. We'll see what else comes out here. But Elvis King Presley, you are king. Never let reality stand in your way. Always keep heaven on speed dial. And, you know, showing up right up here with this Nine of Cups, right? With all these angels celebrating you, celebrating your victory, right? And what I said in the beginning, you are connected, right? You are being guided through this. And it looks like in this second week, you're definitely picking up on that more. This first week seems a little sketchier. Okay, so let's start over here. Get through the rough stuff. So, you know, we do see this Sun card here sitting next to these cards. And, you know, and they're both touching Amit here. And, you know, I'm called to, you know, if you watched the intro, our dreams, something is going to happen during this time that's going to kind of test us, right? It's going to look like our dreams have fallen apart, right? But it's just an illusion. Yes, and subconsciously you know this. I just want to point out, you know, plus we've got the sunflower showing up again here. You know, this is the green man. So I feel like, you know, this is what you're moving towards, and it looks like you're going to get it, right? This, and of course, it's not like you're really looking for anything other than just, I mean, you are, of course, you're wanting, the cats are getting me. You're wanting, of course, a victory, but I think more, you know, it's like, you know, that being in this positive state of mind is what's going to get it for you, right? And so you're concentrating on feeling good, right? And you have this knowledge, I feel, because, you know, all we see here is her shadow, right? That there is always light and dark, right? There's always that. And, but what I'm really, you know, and as soon as I saw this card, I was like the King of Wands. And he is kind of a dual card here. I'm going to go ahead because this is the heart of the reading. And, you know, I feel like this person is trying to lay some blame on you, right? They're yeah, it's like they're I don't know if they're just making up things about you, or they're, you know, bringing up old stuff that doesn't even matter anymore, but it kind of, you know, it is enough to maybe sow some doubt. But here's the thing, okay? And this is somebody, you know, this could be, you know, a fire sign, right? Aries, I mean, not, well, I was going to say that, Sagittarius and Leo. But they think they know more than anybody else, right? Because we see Hermes here. I think that's how you pronounce it. We also see this Egyptian statue in the back here. And, you know, he's also Thoth, right? So he thinks he's, you know, so wise and he knows more than anybody else. And, you know, he's this kind of person. And he knows you've got the better of him. But he, you know, it's like, he's making this last ditch effort. Right? But this is also spirit walking beside you, right? This is, he's shown up before for you guys. There is a spirit guide that is walking with you through this. And, you know, Amit, he eats the people who fail the test, right? So know that this is, you know, justice will come out of this. Justice will prevail. And I do, you know, I do see that here. You know, in your mind, you know, because we see this black and white, which, you know, I always associate with justice. But it's like you're taking this untruth or this issue or whatever, you know, it is, and you're making the most of it, right? You're kind of defying gravity, right? He's got this one sword here and he's got 4 more swords, right? This is the battle. And he's picking up another one to add to it, right? So I feel like, yes, you might, but this is also the 9 of Swords right here. You want to watch about spending too much time thinking about this, right? Because, you know, as you can see, it's making swords on the wall here, right? But it's just the blinds, it's the light moving through the blinds. So rather, you know, and I do think you're kind of transform, you know, we see this butterfly here on the blanket, transform those thoughts, right? And I think you are kind of doing that here. Just don't spend too much time, right, on this. I do think you're making the most of this situation, right? You're going to solve the problem. Just, you know, make sure that you don't spend too much time thinking about it, because like I said, spirit is walking with you. Justice will prevail. And in your subconscious, you do know that, right? We have you coming out the mouth of the beast here. The sun rising again after a long battle. And, you know, I like how they're this is you, right? You're Kepper Ra here, the morning sun. And they're holding you up. And here we have 2 figures holding you up. This is the Queen of Pentacles. I love that, right? And then she's holding these white flowers, which is, you know, that innocence, you know, being reborn, you know, being proven innocent. I don't even think you have to be proven innocent. You know your innocence, right? And that's what matters. And yeah, you're just, there's a celebration about it, right? You're being exalted. So in your subconscious, you know, right? And that's always nice. Like, you know, we have the Knight of Pentacles here, which is your goal. So in your subconscious, you're actually capable of more, right? But like I said, you are, you know, because this is youthful energy, right? This is the green man. This is vitality, earthiness, just really connecting with nature. And Nefertum here from the house of Akut, which is fire, right? He's breathing this fire. And it's like this whole, you know, you're so transforming the situation, I feel, right? Somebody comes at you, puts the fire to you, and you're like, oh, what can I do with that fire? Let's distill some flowers, right? You know, because this is about, you know, the ancient Egyptians would distill lotus blossoms for the fragrance, right? And I'm sure they put fire to that. And this is what we see here is the fragrance of the lotus flower coming up, and it's being distilled by this fire here. And, you know, this is a joyful card, right? This is, once again, it's this vitality, it's this joy, it's this pleasure. And we see all of these sunflowers here. The whole field is filled with them. I paused because I knew I was going to say fill. So, yeah, you know, we see all this yellow back here. It's just, and the yellow behind him here, and then it's touching this 9 of Cups. You're just, you know, and this is that 5, right? This is this transformation of the whole situation. And it's really gorgeous. And we even have, like, you know, this 9 of Swords gets turned into the 9 of Cups this way. And this is in your fire element. So this is, you know, spirit. And we see all these angels. And it's like you're totally connecting, totally open. Your cup is being filled over and over again. And yeah, you're just feeling good, I feel, you know, and you're, you know, practice this visualization, right? Make your wishes. Because when you're feeling this good, when you've, you know, overcome something like that, you're powerful, right? And then this is your water element. This is your emotions, your relationships. I just feel like, you know, with this connected to this 9 of Cups and the King of Wands here, that this is you just opening up to spirit, opening to receive, right? We have them filling up her cup here. And it's like, it's just washing over you, right? This cup is just coming right towards his heart and then washing over him. And it's like giving him superhero powers, right? And once again, we have this black and white here. Justice. And making moves from the heart. Right? And this Knight of Pentacles is like looking down over here. He might even be looking over here at Elvis. You are king, right? It's like, and I do feel like that's part of what's going on here. You're making moves towards, you know, that king status. Taking charge of your own life, your own happiness. What drives you? You know, making sure that you never end up in a situation where somebody can hold the fire to you ever again. You are coming out victorious. I'm loving it. Yeah, and this is, you know, you're building your foundation here. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. The star is right underneath it. And, you know, this is that, you know, keeping that hope alive. And that is what's going to drive this, right? Keeping your eye on the prize, right? And in this instance, obviously, it's this battle right here. Strength, yeah. You're going to have to pull on your... And look at that, 10 of Pentacles. Beautiful. You've got what it takes. Yeah, absolutely. And then we have this Fool card in your future. And this is just a new journey, a new you, and just, you know, having fun, you know, not taking life too seriously and, you know, embracing the mystery, right? We see this moon in the back here. Once again, justice, the light and the dark being balanced. Love it. And I find it interesting, you know, we do have, you know, you're in your head quite a bit, you know, the mind versus the heart. And keep that in mind this first week, right? Keep returning to it. Make sure you're balancing all of that, you know. And then we have Pentacles here, you know, grounding this fire. So it's interesting the way that this is, it's very balanced, but overall, but it's like, I feel like there's this emphasis. And maybe you do need to use your mind a little bit more to solve the problem, right? Just keep in mind how you're using, right? You know, think about the thoughts. I just watched this guy talk the other day, and one of the things he was talking about memorizing Sanskrit, right? So maybe memorize a mantra to kind of like when you feel your mind kind of getting away with you, that you can return to a mantra. But one of the things he said, you know, is, you know, when you think about, when you catch yourself, you know, kind of going down, you know, that thought pathway, ask yourself, are my thoughts useful? How do they behave? Okay. So keep that in mind. But there is a lot to be learned from this journey. You know, I just keep on getting drawn to this King of Wands, and I think he's really a lot of things. I think this is you. I think this is somebody else. I think this is spirit. I think this is the lesson that's being learned here. You know, and once again, we have the light, or the light and the dark, the moon and the sun. And just, you know, this is the world revolving, and, you know, just the cycles. There's a lot to be learned through this. So see it that way, right? Okay, let's get a piece of art. Then we'll get closing guidance. Then we'll take a quick look at the underlying energies. Okay, for Capricorn, we're going to go over here to left. This giant hamburger. Once again, I feel like, you know, once it's really wanting you to stay lighthearted, right? Not take things so seriously. That, you know, this, whatever is happening, you know, the illusion of it, right? This is not a real hamburger. It's like some very, you know, and who would want to recreate a hamburger, right? The ridiculousness of whatever this is, right? Just really hold on to that, because over here is what's real, right? This sun energy, this, you know, all the gold in here. You're being exalted. Whatever is going on, it's ridiculous, right? Stay focused on your spiritual path, right? On yourself, right? And your path, whatever, even if it's not necessarily spirit, but this feels spiritual with Saint Matthew, right? And the gold, this exalted